So this video that I've made for you is my top 10 tips for minimalists or people who are thinking of applying a minimalistic approach into their life. Tip number 1 is only buy what you need when you need it. So this means being pretty organized and applying the just-in-time technique. For example, no more stockpiling of items. So for example, toothpaste. You only buy toothpaste when it's running low or when it's completely run out. And yes, that does mean that you need to be very organized and maybe keep a list somewhere of things that are running low so that you buy them in time and are not caught out with no toothpaste. But it will mean that you don't waste space in your bathroom cabinet, you don't waste money, and it means you'll have it will be a lot easier to clean your bathroom cabinets when you need to. Tip number 2 is don't be afraid of letting things go. So say for example you're going through your wardrobe and you find some items of clothing that you've barely worn or haven't worn at all, possibly still with the price tag attached. And you might look at that and think, oh my goodness, that was so expensive, what a waste of money, I never even wore this or barely wore this, but you know that you don't really like that item anymore and it doesn't actually reflect your style or taste or feel comfortable to wear. Make peace with that feeling of guilt and let it go. The whole point with minimalism is you get rid of things that don't serve you and you open up the space for bigger and better things to come into your world. So if you want, a couple of different options. You could give that item away to a friend who would appreciate and value that item. You could sell it on something like Gumtree, Craigslist or eBay, or you could just give it to charity. But it's about letting go and not feeling too guilty, but also making sure that you learn a lesson about why you bought that in the first place and why it doesn't actually suit you right now so that you don't make the same mistake again. Tip number 3 is understand that minimalism is a lifestyle. It's not an adjective or a definition, it's a way of life. And you need to be constantly working on it if you want to become, a minimalist. Old habits die hard, and we all come across triggers that make us go back to our old ways of life. And I know for myself, the other day I caught myself buying excessive things that I didn't really need or want or even appreciate, and I had to stop and sit down and catch myself and ask myself, what is going on? Why am I doing this? Because this is not the way I want to live my life. And so you need to be always present with yourself and understand that minimalism is, it's a way of life, and it's something that, you practice each day, almost like a meditation. Tip number 4 is enjoy minimalism. Minimalism is not about punishing yourself, being mean or cruel, or putting very strict restrictions on yourself. It's about, focusing on things that give you, that you value, you love, you use, and you appreciate. And we all know from the law of attraction, where we put our energy, we get more back. So for me, applying a minimalistic approach in my life has given me so much more time, so much more energy, and that has meant that I have more time to have bigger and better connections with the people that are important to me, and I can have happier and healthier experiences in my life as I continue on, through my journey. Tip number 5 is shield yourself. When I first started falling into minimalism or incorporating it into my head and home and heart, I didn't announce it to the world. But slowly people started sort of questioning why I didn't have certain things, like I had less kitchen utensils than most people. And I would tell them. And admittedly, some people laughed at me and thought I was crazy, it was just a phase. But I learned to sort of protect myself from people's judgment and criticism and stand my ground as to this is my home, this is my life, and this is what makes me feel good. So you do need to be careful that you don't get impacted by people maybe judging you for this way of life. This is your life, and this is only you decide how you want to live it. And it's funny, half the people that did maybe question me or laughed at me for this have now themselves actually incorporated a minimalistic approach. And I get these phone calls, when friends are going through, cleanses and culls, and they, say how amazing it is and how they don't know why they didn't try this ages ago, and it's been, one of the best things they've discovered. And so be prepared to cop some criticism or people laughing at you, but that's okay because you're the one who's getting the benefit of this, and you never know who you may inspire. Tip number 6 is understand your limits. There are going to be parts in your life where you simply cannot apply a minimalistic approach. And you need to make peace with that and accept that. And maybe that component of your life where you can't apply a minimalistic approach, maybe further down the track you can again. But that's okay. We can't be. This is not about us, controlling ourselves, but it's about, I guess, living within our means and understanding that what our lifestyle involves and what is important to us. And a classic example for myself is makeup. I have always loved makeup. I love what makeup does to enhance beauty, but I've never been a huge cosmetic consumer. However, because I now am doing YouTube videos and some television work and photography work, I've had to purchase a lot more makeup than I would normally have. And initially I felt incredibly uncomfortable around this because I didn't feel like it was authentic to who I was and my message about minimalism. But then when I sort of sat down and looked at it in more detail and understood that actually this makeup was actually a tool in my life, it was adding value, it was, and it enables me to create different looks from a creative perspective in my life, and it actually is something I really enjoy doing, then that was okay. And by no means does that mean I go absolutely nuts and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on makeup and fill my bathroom cabinet with 500 lipsticks. But when I do buy something, I make sure I still apply that minimalistic approach and that I love, value and appreciate. So when I put that lipstick on, I love that lipstick. I love seeing it in my bathroom cabinet, and I appreciate what it does to my lips or my face or the way I'm presenting myself that day. Tip number 7 is open your mind and your head and your heart to the way minimalism applies in your life. Initially, when most people lean into minimalism, they start with their home. They do a big cleanse of their wardrobe or their house, and that's great, and it's a really good way to start to apply minimalism and feel those immediate benefits. But it doesn't just stop there. You can apply minimalism to so many different components in your life. For example, you can apply it to food in simplifying the food that you put into your body, eating more whole foods, which obviously your body will most likely give you more energy and thank you for. You can also apply minimalism to your finances. And if you haven't already, you can watch my video on money and minimalism, which is probably one of my most popular videos. But again, there are a lot of benefits to come from simplifying the way that you use money in your world. Another one is, applying a minimalistic approach into your commitments, both professionally and personally. Not overloading your weekends with, so many activities and events and functions. Just picking a few key things that you really want to do that weekend and enjoying them, instead of running around like a headless chicken, trying to, please everyone and be there for every single function and, end up exhausting yourself. And even from a work perspective, if you're feeling a bit stressed and overwhelmed with work, learn to say no to taking on extra projects if it's not going to serve you and you're not going to be passionate and enjoy working on those extra commitments. And finally, another area which I'm a little bit hesitant to talk about, but I will because I think it's of importance and consideration, worth being considered, is the connections of the people around you. For myself, I would much prefer to have, a small group of amazing friends who I absolutely love, appreciate, and have an incredibly deep and grateful, connection with, where we inspire each other, we support each other, we protect each other, than rather having like a group of, say, 50 or 60 average friends. I focus on very much on quality quality over quantity. Because that's what works for me in my world, and as it helps those friends help support me through challenges that I might be going through. Tip number 8 is, with sentimental stuff, take a photograph. When I went through some of my cleansing culling process, there were things that I found that were very sentimental, but I did want to let go of. And so for those things, I took a photograph. And an example was my old dog Alfonso. I found his dog tag with my mobile number, and this dog meant so much to me. When he died, it was absolutely heartbreaking. I had so much trouble processing the pain from that. But I found his collar, so what I did was I took a photograph of it. I put it on my personal Instagram account with a little bit of a memory about Alfonso, and I then buried that dog tag in my garden. So, that might be something that helps you get rid of or let go of sentimental things without disrespecting or dishonoring the memory of those things. Tip number 9 is honor the process. So when you're going through a detox, a cull, a cleanse, a throwing out phase, learn to be present during that moment. When I have gone through minimalism challenges, the days where I've not try to rush through it, but actually calmly go through things. I've had so many lessons that have come up, self-discoveries, realizations, messages that have really helped me grow as a person, understand more about my own personal values and authenticity. And it's been a very, powerful and uplifting and enlightening experience. So for the times where you can afford to take your time in going through that cleanse, learn to try and be as present as possible and listen to what comes up, because it also can be a very cathartic experience. Tip number 10 is lean in. Minimalism is not for everyone, and not everyone feels the same benefits that I do or other people may do. So try applying minimalism. Maybe just attack one cupboard, or maybe go through one drawer or one component in your life. Maybe start with your wardrobe. See if it works for you. If you enjoy it and you feel those benefits, that's great. Keep going with it. If it doesn't work for you, then that's absolutely fine. Leave it for a while. Maybe consider coming back to it later if you want, or don't even bother with it at all. That's absolutely fine. Everyone has their own personal journey, and it's no one should judge anyone. But testing, I think trying anything in life is always a great experience, and by leaning in, it's a way of very gently and gradually seeing if this might serve you. Anyway, that's it for this video. As always with my videos, I hope they've had help you in your life and in your journey. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. You can also subscribe to the official Sugar Mama website, and you can follow me on Instagram at sugarmama.tv. I will see you next week on Monday for Money Monday, and on Thursday night for Lifestyle Love. But ciao for now, and I'll see you then. Bye!